This conference will now be recorded.
There we go. All right, we'll do, let's start with roll call.
Okay, Mayor Manning,
Here.
Brenneman,
Here.
Keel,
Here.
Monahan,
Here.
Glanzer,
Here.
Nelson,
Here.
and Jones.
Here.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we'll vote. Nelson? I think that's a thumbs up. Yep.
Yes, I couldn't find the camera, yeah.
Monahan?
Yes.
Brenneman?
Yeah.
Glanzer?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
And Jones?
Yes.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from 4/7?
So moved. Second.
There we go. All right, we'll vote. Nelson? Oh,
Mayor,
got discussion. All right.
I have one question. The minutes read that the job was offered to candidate A for $64,000 until January 1st, 2021. And the way I read that is that he's gonna earn $64,000 from the day he starts until 2021. That's the way I read it. I don't have it in front of me, but that's because I don't know how to close out of this and look at the minutes, but I'm just curious. I didn't think that was the intention, but that's the way I read it.
I don't know. I read it as that's the offer. 64,000.
Should we
I
add
think you
just,
could probably,
sorry, should we just add the wording of annual salary?
there you go. Yeah, I was gonna say with the opportunity to have a merit increase on January 1st of 2021.
Add the word yearly. Is that what you were gonna do? Yearly salary?
Works for me. Does that work for our motion and our second?
Which one were we doing? The 7th or the 14th?
7th. I think that one was on the 14th.
That one was on the 14th.
Okay. Do we have any discussion on the 7th? Okay, we'll vote. Nelson?
Yes.
Monahan?
Yes.
Brenneman?
Yes.
Glanzer?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
And Jones?
Yes.
All right. Then we got minutes from the 14th.
How do we do that? Make a motion to amend?
Approve with an amendment. Yeah.
I'd make
And
a
I
motion.
think if we,
What's that? Go ahead.
sorry. I think if we just add that candidate with a salary, with an annual salary of 64,000 would clarify it. Because then you'd break it down for the year.
And do we need to add what Brittany mentioned about with a review after January 1 of 2021, or don't we need to add that?
I don't think you need to because everybody gets a review at that time, but it was originally your motion, so it can be your amendment.
Right. So I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 14th meeting with the amendment to say position to candidate A with an annual salary of $64,000 until 2021.
All right, you got a second?
Did we get a second already?
Yep.
Okay. Just quick point of discussion. With this, I assume then that we'll let the other two candidates know, already have, or where are we at with that?
Yeah, I talked with Jeremy on Friday and we thought since it was going to be on the agenda that an offer was made. So we let him know that an offer was made and accepted.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion?
Has it been second?
It has, yep. All right, we'll vote. Nelson?
Yes.
All right, Monahan?
Yeah.
Brenneman?
Yeah.
Lanzer?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
And Jones.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, next we'll move to bills submitted for payment.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
All right, discussion.
Craig, are we trying to buy 2 years worth of cable ties or what?
The cable ties, so the ones for the water, we use about probably 10 on each meter when we change them out. So we've got enough to do, probably 50 to 100 meters, maybe a few more. Then the rest of them are for the soccer nets, that's for the soccer fields. So we'll be probably ordering more.
It just stood out because there was just
Yep.
hundreds of dollars worth of cable ties. So I was just
Yep.
curious.
Yeah, I think there was a couple thousand in one package or something like that. So we'll go through them.
The only thing that jumped out to me was the amount of money we send to New Century Press. Man, that's a big number.
Since they took over from Anderson, our publications have increased tremendously. They charge quite a bit more.
Yep, that's what I figured. Because I don't recall I ever even noticed it before.
You saying they actually got more subscribers? No, that wouldn't make a difference.
No, so what normal minutes would cost us previously, I don't know if it's quite double, but it's quite a bit higher, their charge for it. We have about the same amount of publications. We're not doing a bunch of them. It's just they're charging more.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? All right, we'll vote. Nelson?
Get to me first, I can't, I'm not clicking on the draw. Yes.
Monahan?
Yes.
Brenneman? That
Yes.
was a yes. Yep. Lanzer?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
And Jones?
Yes.
All right, it doesn't appear to me that we have anybody from the public on the call for public input on non-agenda items, but I'm gonna give just 1 second. If anybody would like to give any input on non-agenda items, now is your chance. Okay,
I'll just throw it out there that the Jamboree Committee decided last night to cancel the Jamboree events. And the softball association is still going to try to do their tournament that weekend.
Good, thank you for the update. I know that's a tough decision, really tough.
Craig, did anybody mention just doing a car cruise through town like they're doing in Sioux Falls? Just get all the cars together and just run them up and down the roads?
Yep, we discussed that. We're gonna have a meeting in the first part of June, first Monday in June, and try to put something together with the fire department and get people together and just drive up and down the roads to kind of celebrate it. And then we're also going to look and see if there's something, maybe if some stuff settles down, maybe August, late part of August, we might try to do a street dance with a car show.
Good. Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Craig, for that update. All right, we got second reading of ordinance 685, which is amend chapter 3.01. So, if I remember right, no changes in here, Teresa?
No, basically, previously we had changed it to the 250 per violation and then 500 for each additional one within the same year. So, but no changes since the last time. And then section F and H, there are no changes as well.
Do we have any motions?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Good discussion. Hear none? We'll vote. Are you ready, Nelson? Nelson? You're on mute, sir. I'm gonna go first to you all night.
Well, I was looking at the other agenda. I was looking at the agenda stuff, so I was faded out for a second. Yeah.
Yes, all right, Monahan,
Yes.
Brenneman,
Yes.
Glanzer,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
and Jones.
No.
All right. Jones wants to keep dumping grass in his street. I don't know. Just messing with it. All right. Fire department
I've been
report.
hanging around Monahan too long. I'm starting to get obstinate. How's that?
It suit you well.
I know, thank you.
All right. Chief Bryan submitted his report. He couldn't be here tonight to talk about it, so that's in your packet. Great addition to the packet. Thank you for keeping on asking for that, Mr. Keel. Any discussion on that at all? All right. If not, we'll move over to Mitch with the city engineer report.
Evening, everyone. Been kind of quiet in our office for projects for you guys. Next week, I think, or next meeting, I guess I'll probably come with a recommendation to advertise the intersection project for Opal and Rude. We're still waiting for one easement on the sewer job. We've got Central States came in this last week, so that was good. But we're just kind of hanging tight on that project right now. But other than that, it's like I said, it's been pretty quiet on our end. Any questions?
Mitch, I don't know if this is directed towards you or Teresa or whomever, but I can't remember. Do we have the bike path in the hopper here to be done yet this year? I seem to remember we do. No?
Are you talking going up along Western?
Vandemark to Maine. The Vandemark, right?
Fighter to Maine.
Fighter to Maine. Thank you. Yeah. Fighter to Maine.
The Bike and Rec Trail talked about, they're gonna apply for the grant this fall for it. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's in the hopper that they're gonna apply for a grant, but we won't have to apply for that till, I think, July. Is it July or August?
So no engineering will be required for that until then.
No, they've got everything they need
Okay.
until we apply for the grant.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Questions? No one else? All right. Thank you, Mitch. All right, we'll move over to Craig, the Public Works Superintendent report.
I'm just going to touch on a few items before the action items. Had some traffic counters out last week before, took one of them down before the snow came in. We only had about probably a week on it, but the counts were down. They're pretty similar to the counts in 2017. So they're about down 2,000 counts per day on, they would be with, as a normal in 2019. So traffic's definitely down. Parks, I've been asked by a few different people about possibly looking at some donations and stuff to put stuff in the park. You know, like we do benches along the bike trails and that already. But I've had some people ask about planting trees for memorial trees and that stuff in the park. Told them to bring it up to you guys and see what you thought. My only thing is, like I was talking to them, I said if the council's okay with it, that it'd be one of those that we'd have to pick, give them an option of trees that we'd allow. Possibly even have Mike or whoever's planting our trees at that time plant them. And then it would be up to them to put a memorial or something like that by it. So I was just running that by you guys to see what your feelings were with that.
Sidebar question. Got it. What was it last year at this time? Everybody was chatting about the beetle, the bug.
The emerald ash borer, yeah, we wouldn't
Thank
plant trees. I mean, it'd be a select trees of what we actually put in the boulevards right now.
Now, did that treatment have to go 2 years for it to take to do the job, or and we treated some of the trees, right?
Yep, we treated some. We do have some money for treating the trees, some other ones this year yet, but it's a treatment every other year for up to 10 years, is what they're saying.
Okay, so it's every other year, not every.
Yep.
I was thinking it was 2 years and you were good. That's not the case.
Nope, every other year for 10 years.
Okay. I was just about ready to call Chink because I couldn't remember if I needed to have mine done. Thank you.
Just my 2 cents, I guess. If somebody wants to donate a tree or anything like that, they basically, I would like them to acknowledge or sign something that says, you know, once it's donated, it's essentially our property. If we have to cut it down for some reason, I mean, the maintenance is our thing. I don't want somebody to donate a tree and then, you know, it's in the way of something else and they got to cut it down and they come screaming and, oh, I donated that tree. You can't do that. I mean, they're giving us the tree. It's ours to deal with in the future and it's our property, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, do you see any issues with that, Craig? Do you ever run into anything on that along those lines?
No, it's kind of like boulevard trees, like we plant those, they know that we pay for the tree unless they want to put their own in, then they have to go through me to get the tree that will allow. But they are under the understanding that if we have to take it down or see some issue with the tree, that we are allowed to take it down because it is city property, so. But we could definitely try to, you know, put something together or, you know, like an understanding or something, or just have them sign on it. So we have records too of what trees are where. So if the marker would ever get removed or something or stolen or whatever, that we would still be able to tell whose tree it was, so.
I don't have any concerns there. I guess, do you need Do you need some further direction from us on that at all, Craig?
What do you think? I guess I'm okay with that. Like I said, we can just draw something together just to have them sign, let them know that the tree is our tree once it's planted,
Mhm. I mean, I trust your judgment on doing some of those things as long as you don't think it's going to be a continued further burden on the city, just logistically and all of that. I mean, if you think, yep, this is easy, it's not a big deal, it's all good. I see no reason for us to jump in on it if you feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's what me and Teresa were kind of talking about, that they'd have to be under our rules or whatever, like this tree that we're allowing, that's the only, these are the type of trees we're allowing. And we can even have them buy through Mike so that we can keep, decent trees in there and pretty much have control over the situation from the beginning of it.
That'd be a cool idea. Yep.
Okay. The only other thing I got on my report before the action items is the metal signs that we were trying to get for the park, where Lyle Signs is so backed up. They haven't even, I've sent about 3 or 4 different emails, talked to her on the phone a few times, trying to get something together. Haven't got too much response on that. They are running skeleton crews, trying to keep everybody safe. I sent an email to Pheasant Lands, which is out of Sioux Falls. That's through the, I'm not sure how to word it, prison help or whatever. And they do signs down there too. I've got an email to them. They have it going to their artist or the graphic person, and then they're going to get back to me. The only question I have is do we want to get $200-300 in signs or more and put them up for a month? I mean, the ones we got now are working pretty well. I think they're holding together good. I just don't know, if it's worth the money to put them up for a month or 2 months. So I could still go ahead with it. Like I said, it'll probably be another 2 weeks to a month before we'd even see them. So.
Off the top of your head, Craig, any idea what the verbiage is on those signs? I can't remember if we even discussed that. I mean, is it something that's evergreen enough that in case there's another scenario, because we're never going to experience COVID-19 ever again, right? Knock on wood. Does it have a multi-purpose is my question.
The ones that we put together say, this is what Teresa put together, temporary ones. Basically just notice it says, all park facilities, equipment, shelters, tables are not sanitized. Please follow the CDC guidelines, practice social distancing to help stop the spread of COVID-19. So I don't think you'd make one general enough to put up if something else happens. I think it's going to be a whole different guidelines and everything else. So I think these signs just be for this situation and whether it be next year again or not. So
Have you checked on vinyl, Craig?
I haven't checked on vinyl. The only thing with that is we'd probably have to still find some type of a platform, whether plywood or something like that, to put them to so that they don't rip.
But you could put vinyl on a piece of white sheet metal.
Yeah, we could certainly look at that. I'm not sure how fast that'd be either. So just thoughts. I said
I'm a little pause with this one, honestly. I'm like thinking to myself, 3-4 weeks goes by pretty quick. If I don't know. I mean, if it gets to the point, I guess where my mind is right now, if it gets to the point where things are considerably worse and we're closing parks, we'd probably do more like what I've seen around the Sioux Falls area, where you wrap some yellow tape around the equipment and it's pretty obvious what's going on. I'm afraid they're going to get here and we're going to spend the money and 2 weeks later, we're going to put things back up or something.
They do have signs that do say parks closed. That's what most of the towns around us are putting up. So So this is different. They all said that. They all had designs out there that say park closed, and that's something they can whip out right away. This, they just gotta get down to their print shop and have them redone. You know, it's probably a matter of, probably within a few days, we'd probably see something back that we can review quick and put the order in, and then just be a matter of how long it take them to get them.
I'm good with what we got right now.
Ditto.
Same.
I concur.
All right, we'll just stick with that then. And if something changes, that's gonna be, maybe we find out something's gonna be long-term, then we can go into it from there.
Mhm.
So for my agenda items, I have cracks sealing on there. Got highway improvements, who's done our work in the last probably 20 some years, do a good job for us. Give us good pricing. Last year, I even heard from a neighboring town, and we were about 10 cents a foot cheaper than they were. They work around our schedules. The price is the same as it's been for, I look back, I think for 3 years now, he hasn't changed the price. So I'd like to make a motion to go with him to spend up to our footage for our budget amount.
Motion to approve the highway improvement crack seal bid for 2020.
Second.
All right, discussion? All right, if not, we'll vote. Nelson? Yep.
Picking on.
Monahan?
Yes.
Brenneman?
Yes.
Glanzer?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
And Jones?
Yes.
All right,
The other item, equipment purchase, I have 90,000 that we had set aside for a different dump truck, plow truck, sander. Kind of looking at some of that, and then when we had the blade go down, I kind of wanted to switch gears. I did find some equipment like I discussed, and since then, the one piece of equipment that we need to replace, the one I was looking at, I've got some updates from that, and it's gonna be way more than what we're gonna have budget money for. So they put a new motor in it here back in November, and I've got a copy of that from RDO, actually through the company itself, E&M Services. And they had over 56,000 just stuck into the motor here 4 months ago. I also heard from talking to their mechanic that they had it on line to sell out, and they were asking 175 and they didn't get a bite on it. So I don't know what the price is going to be, but it's going to be over our budget amount. So I'm just kind of leaving that out there for now. The other piece of equipment, I think we can get a really good buy on it through the auction. I did talk to Rod Fortin. Everything is good. Rod Fortin's with legislative audit. Talked to him today actually again about how to purchase as long as it's below the bid limits. That's not an issue. If it's over the bid limits, which this other piece of equipment would have been, then we'd have to get quotes, and I can get those actually off the internet from different sites, stuff like that. But this piece of equipment I think is going to be way below what we put away for budget. I'm hoping to be a quarter to a third of what our budget is to purchase this. I'd like to still proceed with that piece of equipment just because of the buy on it. And I'm not sure what to do with the other piece of equipment yet. So I'm kind of looking for input or on that. Like I said, we'll find something, and hopefully we can find it, fairly reasonable. Either that or we'll have to get our other one fixed up. So.
Can I make a suggestion, Craig?
Yep.
If we end up buying the one piece of equipment at auction, we should make sure that worst case scenario, we have enough money left over that we budgeted to fix the other piece of equipment.
Yep,
So-
no, I agree. Yep. And I think we'll have more than enough in there. I'm hoping this other one, I'm hoping for right around that 20,000 range, 20 to 25. If it goes much more than that, I'd pass on it, so. And that would still leave us money to at least put a motor in the other one to get it fixed up, so.
All right, do we have any motions?
Do we need a motion on that? He's got it already
Do you
budgeted.
need anything?
I'll make a motion to allow Craig to use his discretion when purchasing said auction equipment.
I'll second that.
And I'm assuming you want to put a dollar amount on that. The budget money, 90,000.
I said your discretion. So I guess if you use poor discretion, we can talk about that at the next meeting.
Well, the good thing is the one auction, or the auction is, we still have one meeting left, so. Before that, so I'll know more what all the numbers are by the next one, so.
I know what you're looking at, and if you spend up to the budget number on that, we're gonna have a big problem, Craig.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We got any further discussion? Now we'll vote. Nelson,
Yes.
Monahan,
Yes,
Brenneman,
Yep.
Lanzer,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
and Jones.
Yes.
And that's all I have, so unless somebody's got questions for me.
Hey, Craig, do we have any more speed limit signs by chance?
I probably have some more. Where are you noticing that we need something?
When you're heading on South Main, there's not one. When you start hitting around that curve area there, there's only one when you're heading north. Don't know if there's an opportunity to hit right after that daycare there in that area.
I'll look at it. I'm sure we've got something around, so I'll take a look at it and see about getting something up there.
Perfect. Thanks, Craig.
So it sounds like Turtle Creek's a done deal, huh, Craig?
As far as the renaming, or?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything back, but I'm sure it's gonna, they said July sometime before we'd know.
Got it. Right. Silly question, and it doesn't have to be done even this year. Are signs necessary for something like that? You know, this is Turtle Creek going down Fighter.
We'll get some up for it, yep.
Okay, cool.
All right, perfect. No, anything else for Craig? All right, thanks, Craig.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. All right, we'll move over to Karen's report.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything to add. On the attendance chart, I did update it with last Thursday's meeting for you guys that attended. So those are on there, and then I'll update it with tonight's meeting for all of you. So just so you know that. Otherwise, yeah, unless you got questions for me.
I don't. I don't. I just, I was gonna email you today, Karen. I picked up those checks you'd mentioned, so I'm gonna have those back tonight so that you'll have them tomorrow morning.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yep, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, we'll move over to city administrator report.
I don't got too much to add either. Just like we talked about, we did make that offer to the job candidate for the Chamber and Economic Development Director, and he did accept, so that was great. The only thing he asked with that though is our policy manual says that you accrue vacation when you start, but you can't use it for up to 6 months. Well, he does have a trip already planned at the end of August, provided he can still go. His sister is getting married out of state, and so he does ask us if we can waive that, you know, at least let him start using it by August. And we have done that in the past with the last 2 finance officers, so I didn't think that would be an issue. But I probably, since we're deviating from the manual, should get a motion, if that's okay with the council, to either waive it or, you know, shrink it down to only 3 months or something like that.
I'll make a motion to allow the new economic development director to use vacation in August.
Second.
All right, any other discussion? Now we'll vote. Nelson,
Yes.
Monahan,
Yep.
Brenneman,
Yep.
Glanzer,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
and Jones.
Yes.
All right,
Okay, and we do have, he's gonna try to get up here in a couple weeks from when we talked, so we're shooting for August 4th to be his start date. Hopefully he can secure, you know,
May 4th.
living.
May 4th.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, May 4th, not August, yeah, May 4th, yeah. At the very latest, it would be the next Monday, he said, but he's actively looking for housing right now. Besides that, I guess the only thing, I just want to give you a little bit more update on the pool and park rec. Like I put in my report, the pool, we already had Amy as manager hired, and I did extend out to her that if she wanted to start helping out in the office, probably in June, you know, until we open the pool in May, that we could find stuff for her to do. And she was grateful for that. And she said, yep, she'd be happy to do that. So I'll work out dates and times with her to see what would work with her schedule and with us. And we did have 6 lifeguards apply. So I contacted all of them. 4 of them would be returning lifeguards that already have certification. I contacted all of them though and told them what the situation was with the pool, that it's postponed until July 1st, but I would know more after our first meeting in June, because we're going to address it and look at the situation to see if that changes at all or whatnot. And so it sounded like they were all still interested, and I told them I would be contacting them beginning of June to see where that's at. And then with the park rec, talked to Laura Johnson, and she was good with trying to shoot for July for that program too. And so her as the director, and then we have a coordinator we had hired, and one of the park rec assistants, I talked to all of them, and they're all good with doing it in July if we can, realizing that, you know, this is a fluid situation, and if anything changed, you know, we might not have it at all. She didn't want to push anything back into August, but July would still be okay. And once again, I said we're going to look at it in beginning of June and see what's what, and we'll know for sure then. So yeah, she was all okay with that too. So that's pretty much the update on those 2 things.
Teresa, when's the next newsletter going out?
Beginning of the month.
Beginning of the month, right? So pretty soon. I think we could put an announcement in there, because we talked earlier last week about you know, somebody wants, if we're not going to have park rec, to take that funds, create a ditty bag, a craft bag for what lack of a better term, and get it to the kids that have or want to sign up. And so given that, you know, July, I think it'll probably happen. But I just wanted to, if nothing else, for the council to kind of discuss that there are some people out there that would like to volunteer to implement a park and rec craft bag that will be distributed to kids that sign up. And that's, I don't know. So I guess the newsletter part is letting them know, hopefully it's in July, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on I believe the number you gave me, and I have it on another computer, so I can't look at it, was around $2,000 for supplies this year, maybe even 25, wasn't it? Now, so I'd like to hear any of your thoughts on if it doesn't happen, that we maybe try to do something like that. Also, one caveat to that, Laura, then, Laura's budgeted for $1,300. She could kind of be the organizer of it if, in fact, we're not going to do Parks and Rec in the park in July.
That's probably not such a bad idea. But again, we're kind of fluid. We probably can, I don't know if we'd need to, so your question with the newsletter, I don't know that we'd need to say that yet in May. We could probably hold off, correct?
Basically, I'm just saying that for the newsletter part would be to simply let everybody know that it's not going to be, Parks and Rec is not going to happen in June, and we're hoping for July, is really all I'm hoping for.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd say
we'll
that.
put-
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put that in about the pool in the newsletter as well. I mean, so we'll get the information out.
All right.
I
Good,
got a
good.
question, Teresa. How are you guys handling permits right now? People still come in and get them, and golf cart permits, building permits. What's the process going on right now?
So they're not coming into the office. We're doing everything pretty much through email and online. Most of our forms, like the golf cart or signing up for water service or pet license, they're all on our website. So they can print them off. They can either print them off, fill them out, mail it to us, or put it in our outside drop box, payment box. A lot of them are doing that. With building permits, I'm basically talking with them. They're emailing me their plans or what their project is. I review it, fill out a permit, email that back to them. Once again, they sign it, send it back with the payment, and then I send out the permit. So it's maybe a little more tedious, slow down. I mean, it's working though. I mean, we're pretty much able to, I don't think we've come across anything we couldn't handle. And I mean, there's things like just today we had some plats had to be dropped off. They're bigger, larger things that can't be in the drop box. I mean, we do meet them at the door and grab them, but we're trying to cut down as much a contact as we have to.
All right. Anything else? Okay. All right. Thank you, Teresa. All right. We will move to our next agenda item, which is the surplus of the building on the lots listed in the agenda there. Any motions or discussion?
I'll make a motion to designate it as surplus equipment or surplus structure, or whatever the verbiage is.
Second.
All right, discussion. All right, we'll vote. Nelson? Mute.
Push the wrong button, sorry. Yes.
There we go. All right, Monahan.
Just freaking you out. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it is. I was like, gosh, did everybody else
Yeah.
catch that? Not me?
Yes.
Brenneman.
I'm a yes.
Glanzer.
Yes.
Keel
Yes.
and Jones.
Yes.
So like when you look at the bottom of your screen, I don't know if it's on the bottom of your screen, but it's on the bottom of my screen. Jones is always goofing around. Keel looks pretty serious over here. I'm just gonna say he's either reading something or whatever, but he's pretty serious. And Jones is putting that
I got stuff going on here. I got computers going everywhere. It's kind of like the CIA right here. So back off, Mayor. Back off.
Travis looks,
Constantly looking
Travis
at the
looks-
maps and
Travis looks sunburned to me, and Arden looks like he hasn't been out of the house since last year.
Hey,
after the last couple days.
I've been paying attention. I'm listening to people.
Just a point of clarification, will the city be removing this structure?
We need to continue to review it. That's what you're asking as far as these meetings and how we handle them? Is that what you're asking? Or, oh, I'm sorry, you're saying removing that structure. I gotcha. Never mind.
Correct. The building
Plan
on
on
Main.
Once it gets surplus to get removed, we'll go in there and we'll get rid of the asbestos tiles that are in there and get them properly disposed of. And then we'll take the wood structure off and then destroy the concrete and that stuff around it and haul that out. So we'd be doing it all ourselves.
Okay, just for the public's peace of mind, we'll be removing the asbestos tiles first, then removing the structure.
That's correct. First
Well,
thing we'll do is get the power and the gas unhooked, so we don't have to worry about that.
while we're talking about that structure, so all their stuff is off of it, but I'm pretty sure they're parking on it. So can anybody park on it? Can I park on it, or are we gonna allow parking on it? Because I got some stuff I need to park.
Looks like you need to buy about a 40-acre lot.
Go ahead, Craig. What do you think? No, we can't. We got to figure out a way to keep people from parking there.
The parking part, I guess that's your guys' decision if it's gonna be a city parking lot, or are we gonna try to get it for a building to go in there, or are we gonna turn it into a green space? I mean, that's something that we'll have to decide down the road. I mean, we could certainly ask them not to park on it. That's up to you guys.
It just strikes me as bold that they got their asking price. They took their supplies off of it, but they're they got to be using 2 of those lots for parking cars. Well, it just seems bold to me. I just that's the rub. It just seems bold. For the money they got paid, it just seems bold.
My opinion for now. Let's wait and decide what we want to do with it. Let Gabe get familiar with it. Downtown Hartford. I think that was the initial partial sell when Jesse was here, that we could use it for downtown parking or promote it for a business down the road. And if I was to guess, that was probably part of the conversation he had when we purchased it, or we did when we purchased it. They would want to park there for a while, but if you want to go down that road, and go down that road. I'm not objecting to it, but I think I'd like to see us know what we're going to do with it first. But I agree with you, Monahan. It is kind of bold.
I'm sure it's just business as usual for them. They're not parking in a different area. It's just the same area, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. Yeah. All right.
Somebody just went by breaking the noise ordinance. I'm just telling you.
All right. We're going to move on. We've got a couple proclamations on the agenda here, so I'm going to jump through a few of those. We've got the first one we got out here is for, take a look, it's for Arbor Day. So I'll read through a few of the whereas statements, probably not all of them. But whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed in the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And this holiday is called Arbor Day, which was first served with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and throughout the world. Trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal, and the city of Hartford has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, I, Jeremy Menning, Mayor of the City of Hartford, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2020 as Arbor Day in the City of Hartford, and I urge all citizens to support efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our city's community forestry program. And I further urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations this 21st day of April, 2020. Now, on these proclamations, I believe I say them, but we need a motion and a second and an approval. Is that correct, Teresa? No, none of them? We just go through them?
Not normally. You just
Not normally?
proclaim the day. We move on.
And we move on. All right. We're going to move on to Silver Star Banner Day. Whereas the city of Hartford has always honored the sacrifice of men and women in the armed forces, and the Silver Star Families of America was formed to make sure we remember the blood sacrifice of our wounded and ill by designing and manufacturing a Silver Star banner and flag. And whereas to date, the Silver Star Families of America has freely given thousands of Silver Star banners to the wounded and their families. The members of the Silver Star Families of America have worked tirelessly to provide the wounded of this city and country with Silver Star banners, flags, and care packages. The Silver Star Families of America's sole mission is that every time someone sees a Silver Star banner in a window or a Silver Star flag flying, that people remember the sacrifices for the city, the state, the nation. And whereas the people and the mayor of Hartford wish that the sacrifices of so many in our armed forces never be forgotten. Therefore, I, Jeremy Menning, Mayor of Hartford, do hereby proclaim the appreciation of the Silver Star Families of America and honor their commitment to the wounded armed forces members. I hereby declare May 1st as Silver Star Banner Day as the official day to honor the wounded and ill soldiers of the city of Hartford. I have hereunto set my hand, caused to be affixed the great seal of the city of Hartford and the state of South Dakota, this 21st day of April, 2020. All right. The last one is Building Safety Month, May of 2020. Whereas Hartford, South Dakota is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and economic values of the homes, buildings, and infrastructure that serve our citizens, both in everyday life and in times of natural disaster. Whereas our confidence in the structural integrity of these buildings make up our community, which is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety, and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who also work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. There are a few other whereas statements. But here we acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and the federal agencies in protecting our lives and property. Now, therefore, I, Jeremy Menning, Mayor of the City of Hartford, do proclaim the month of May 2020 as Building Safety Month. Accordingly, I encourage our citizens to join therein the communities in participation of Building Safety Month activities. All right. That is it for those proclamations, but I do want to note for the city and for Craig and his team and everybody involved with everything we do with basically with the Arbor Day Foundation is on the behalf of the Arbor Day Foundation, we have been congratulated that we are once again Tree City USA. And as you see the letter in our packet out there, they celebrate our commitment to this and the number of years we've been doing this. It's been outstanding and it's noticed. I mean, you drive up and down our town and you see the net effect of that. You see all the trees we have here. We're not just houses and streets and sidewalks. There's a ton of trees in town. I thank you for all the work you've done on that, Craig, and everybody else involved with that. So.
Thank you.
Absolutely. With that, do we have anything we need to go into executive session for? All right. We are 4 minutes shy of an hour, looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Let's vote. Nelson,
Yes.
Monahan,
Yes.
Brenneman,
Yes.
Lanzer,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
and Jones.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for all the info in the packet. And everybody have a great night.
Yep, you guys have.